for levelling up housing and community.
Whatever this government may say, the first duty of any government is not growth. It is the safety and the security of the residents of this country and the people who live in it. And both on a local and national basis, this government is failing miserably. Whether it is local people here, beautifully led by Sue Hughes and others here, who have understandable worries about their own safety, about terrorism, about disruption, or in terms of the national security interest. It is a disgrace. You see people like Ken McCullen, who's head of MI5, speaking only a couple of years ago with Chris Wray from the FBI, saying that China is their most potent threat. This is their most challenging nation to deal with. They're a hostile state. And yet this government seems willing to risk our national security to curry favour, to kowtow to the Chinese government. It's absolutely wrong. Let me be clear, no politician here, Ian, James, anyone else here has any problem at all with the Chinese people. This is not a fight against the Chinese people. This is a fight against the CCP and our own national interests. And not for the first time, the government's in a complete mess on this. We have met with people who don't want to be named, but have been involved in our security services, the people who are responsible for cyber security in this country, who are deeply worried about this development. Not just the fact we have the CCP influence here, but the scale of this. Thousands of people in that building there who are clearly going to be charged with the responsibility of identifying and securing sensitive government information. It is economic espionage, it is our tech and our research information. All those things are at risk. That's much better, thank you very much. And of course, when we wrote to the Prime Minister on this on the 25th of January to set out our concerns, we got a letter back only a couple of days ago from Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister. And it's basically almost every senior person in government, the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, the Foreign Secretary, have all involved themselves in this. They're idiots, quite right. They know not what they do. They quote in the letter back to us, the reason she said, Angela Rayner said she called in this application was twofold. One was because the Foreign Secretary asked her to, because she can involve herself, you can do that as Secretary of State when it involves a foreign government, clearly implying that this is something you want to do in China's interest. And the other reason, she said, is because of a letter from Innovate UK. Through a Freedom of Information request, we saw the fact Innovate UK have great concerns about this, quite rightly, on defence and national security grounds. Yet they use that as a reason why they call this application in. It is totally wrong. This application must be rejected. The British public, 77% in a poll I saw, of the British public are against this application, against this development. We are too. We'll do everything we possibly can to campaign against it. And even if it's granted permission, it's consent for the planning consent, then we'll still continue to campaign against it. And I know you will too. Thank you.